Let's get on. Let's start now. Okay, starting off, first of all, the realization of what you are. You're all independent filmmakers. Let's understand very quickly what an independent filmmaker is. An independent filmmaker, very simply, is somebody that doesn't have a job. Next, you get your own money, and you don't go to the distributors. You make your film with your own money outside of the movie industry, and you basically don't go to the 7 major distributors and the 3 or 4 major networks. That's it. Everything else is sort of classified as the independent environment. There are about 1,000 feature films made every year in the United States. Of those 1,000 feature films, about 600 to 650 get rated by the MPAA, Motion Picture Association of America. That's when you see those NC-17s, RPGs on there. There's no law that says you have to get a rating. The only reason we get movies rated is to get advertising in newspapers. About 1/3 of the newspapers in North America won't accept an advertisement for a movie if it doesn't have a rating on it, because a lot of those newspapers are Christian family-oriented, and they're paranoid it might be porn. So they make distributors get ratings if they'll accept ads for the newspaper. And that's the only reason we get ratings. So of the 1,000 features that get made every year, about 600, 650 get rated. There are about another 300, 350 that don't even get ratings. We don't care. You may not even care. You're going for the video industry and the foreign market industry and maybe even the basic cable industry. You don't need to get a rating and pay for that. That's anywhere from $3,000 to about $9,000 is the cost to get a rating, and 95 out of 98 times the distributor pays for that when you get your distribution deal. So of the 1,000 feature films made every year, your 6 or 7 major distributors, Warner, Columbia, Paramount, MCA, Universal, Buena Vista, Disney, they make about 15 to 25 films themselves every year. That's the studio, so that's about 150 to 200. Guess what? 70 to 80% of all the films made every year in the United States are independent. There it is. We're one of them. So we're going to make an independent feature film. Next is you've got to understand budgets. And you got to learn how to read the trades and read papers. Every year of all the feature films made, there are only 4 budgets. That's all. In the millions of dollars that you read about, there are only 4 budgets. Here are the 4 budgets that every film is one of those 4 budgets. One budget is, this film is the highest made film in the history of filmmaking. That's a budget. Last year was Jurassic Park. That was the budget for that film. The most expensive film. You know, about 6 years ago, it used to be 20 million. 5 years ago, the number was 30 million. Then 40 million. Then 50. You know, that's not what it costs. They throw this number out there. And while they're making the film, they always say, it's so expensive. Oh, we just don't know what it's costing. It's costing, like Jurassic Park. They actually tried for about a week to market that this film is so expensive. They tried to market it that the budget was actually $100 million on that film. You know, give me a break. It's 2 mediocre name actors. That I don't mean to knock the actors, Sam Neill and Laura Dern. They ain't no massive $1 million actors. And a bunch of these plastic dinosaurs on one small location on an island in a park. And you're going to buy that this thing is $100 million? We laughed at that. So then what they did, they marketed it as, this budget for this film, Jurassic Park, is so expensive, we don't even know how expensive it is. That's the marketing campaign. You heard it. You read it. Now let's get real. When they're making the film, they market it so expensive we don't. Isn't it fascinating, though, that when you go to collect profits, now they know where every single penny it is? So I want you to get out of your head that we in the film industry don't know where every penny is every moment of every day. We are probably, in my opinion, the astutest industry in the world in North America. We are the top grossing exporting industry in North America. We are over agriculture. We are over aerospace industry. We are real good. So don't cop any attitudes of telling any executives anywhere in the film industry what we're doing wrong. Get that out of your head. So one budget is going to be the most expensive film in the history of filmmaking made this year. That's not going to be your film this year. You're not going to shoot that one. Now remember what I told you. I worked for these low-budget genre people as a line producer. I worked on a lot of low-budget films. They were always marketed as million-dollar budgets, but I'm the guy that made the film, and I never got more than $150,000 to $180,000 to make one of those films. So let's go. You now understand there are 2 budgets. that every film seems to have. There's the marketing budget and the actual cash budget. What you've got to learn about Hollywood is we are a marketing industry. A marketing industry. Put that in your head. We are a marketing industry. We are not a film producing industry. We are a marketing industry. We put Madison Avenue to shame. We only every now and then have to get a product to market. We are a marketing industry, and you're about to walk into it, so you better get used to marketing. You better get used to hype and selling yourself in the phrase Hollywood hyperbole. You're about to walk into it. So we're a marketing industry. So the first budget is the most expensive film in the history of filmmaking every year. You're not going to do that one. The next budget is a budget that we generically call the under budget. When you hear the word under. What's the budget of your film? Oh, it's under 10 million. What's the budget of your film? It's under 7 to 10 million. What's the budget of your film? It's under 5 to 7 million. What's the budget of your film? It's under 3 to 5 mil. There's a chair here. There are a couple more chairs outside, David. Okay. There's one in the back, and there's one up here. It's under 3 to 5 mil, under 1 to 2 mil, or under 1 mil. Let's go right now. Let's go. $345,000. Is that an under $1 million budget? Yeah. Is that an under $1 to $2 million budget? Doesn't that sound like a better film? Yeah. Is that an under $2 to $3 million budget? Yeah. Is that an under $3 to $5 million budget? Yeah. Let's go. It's very simple, common sense why we do this. It's a simple buy and sell. I'm the buyer. I'm the acquisition executive, studio or network or foreign sale agent. I'm eventually going to buy your film. What I do when you come to me and want to sell me your film as the independent filmmaker, I ask you a very simple question, very quickly. What's your budget? It is amazing how 999 out of 1,000 beginning filmmakers always love to tell us their budget. You've got verbal diarrhea going through your head all the time. You just want to tell me the exact number right away. I, as the distributor or the buyer, I know from all these years of being in the industry that when you're an independent filmmaker and you make your first film, when you are finished, you're broke. I know you are broke. Don't try and tell me you're not broke. So if you tell me your budget is $382,000, you know what I'm going to offer you if I really like the film? Maybe $400,000. That's it. It's not negotiation. And I know you're going to be happy as hell to get that money and pay off your distributors to get out of here because you're broke now and your house is being foreclosed on and your relatives or your investors are chasing you. If I ask you your budget and you're so proud and you tell me $85,000, I'll give you $95,000 at the most for your film. At the most. So next is, you know what? Stop telling everybody your budget. It's nobody's business except you or your one investor. When the person or the company asks to buy it and ask you what's your budget and they say we need to know, no you don't, is your response. You just say, look at it, if you like it, what's the offer? Let's say your budget actually truly was $85,000. And I ask you what's your budget, and you say $85,000, and I like it, and I think it's marketable, I'll probably offer you $95,000. But if I ask you what's your budget, and you know how to market, and you say that generic phrase, what? Under $1 million. It's just under $1 million. Ah, come on, what is it? It's under $1 million. Come on, I know what things cost. What's the budget? I need to know. No, you don't. It's just under $1 million. You know what? I'll look at it. I, as the buyer, am astute enough to know what film stock costs, lab costs, camera costs. But, you know, I don't know what you paid your crew. I don't know what you paid actors, and it's none of my business. So if you stick to that marketing of the under, there's a good chance on your $85,000 budget, which you never tell me, you just tell me it's under $1 million or maybe under $500,000, I'll say, here's $250,000, walk away. You tell me it's $85,000, I'll say, here's $95,000, walk away. You tell me it's under $500,000, I'll say, here's $250,000, walk away. Get the concept? So first budget is the massive budget, the most expensive film in the history of filmmaking. You're not going to play with that. Next is the under budget, under 3 to 5, under 5 to 7, under 2 to 3, under 1 to 2. You now know whenever you hear that laugh, whenever you read it, chuckle. Next is the generic budget called the $1 million budget. It seems like 60% of the movies are made on $1 million budget. Remember, you're reading the marketing budget. The marketing budget. There's no $1 million budget. If you actually had $1 million, which, by the way, guys, that is a whole lot of money. Stop thinking that it's little money. $1 million is a lot of money. And if you actually had $1 million and physically made a feature film, you would be marketing as an under $5 to $7 million budget film. Starting to get the concept now? So now we're going to do number 4. The 4th film every year is always the cheapest film in the history of filmmaking. That's a marketable little ploy. Every year there's somebody that is marketing, they just did the cheapest film in the history of filmmaking. This last year that slot was taken by Robert Rodriguez El Mariachi. The numbers were 7,500, 6,700, 8,200, that sort of different numbers. So that's a slot. By the way, that film did not cost 7,500. What, you read about it? That's marketing. The film that you saw in movie theaters ended up costing anywhere between 150 and 180,000. That's what it cost. So that's marketing, though. So maybe you're going to make a film that's really inexpensive. Maybe you're going to make one for 22,000. You know what? If I was making a film for 22,000, which you can make a feature film for 22,000, I wouldn't market I made it for 22,000 because they're going to compare you to, look what this guy did for $7,500. So if you make it for 22,000, so it's straight. If you make it for 22,000, what are you going to say you made it for? 6,200. Look what you did better than and for less money. That's not it. This is not joke. This is marketing. You better get used to marketing. In my opinion, that is about 70 to 80% of what this is about. 20% is get the great script. The other 10% is really what I'm teaching you today, the mechanics of making it. It's the great script and marketing. It's the great script and marketing. This class is not on screenwriting. It's the great script and marketing. So those are the 4 budget parameters that we're going to be in, and everybody is in. And we're going to be into one of those parameters, and we're sort of going to be a hybrid. Here's realistic what you're going to be on your first shoot. You're going to be in a hybrid of somewhere between the cheapest film and the $1 million budget and the under. We're basically going to shoot today an under $1 million budget. That's what you're going to do. We're going to do an under $1 million budget. If we really have, remember, an under $1 million budget in cash is usually somewhere between $150,000 and $350,000. Remember, there are 2 budgets. There's the marketing budget that you tell everybody, and there's the real cash that we're going to make it for. So the real cash budget is, let's say, $150,000 to $350,000. The marketing budget is under $1 million. If you're closer to $150,000 or to $100,000, which is realistic money for about 1/2 this class this year, that's realistic. So if you're in the $100,000 to $150,000 range, you'll probably end up marketing, it's just under a $500,000 budget. If you're over $150,000, market, it's just under $1 million. It's just under $1 million. What's the budget? $1 million, just under $1 million. What's the budget? $1 million, just under $1 million. Let's get real simple so you understand how Hollywood works now. There are only 6 or 7 major distributors that can write those big checks that we all fantasize about, and they do write them, for productions of $20 million to $40 million. You know how you get, here's how Hollywood works, it's real simple. You know how you get $20 million to make your first feature? You go out, there are only 6 companies that can write that check. You first go out and make an excellent $2 million feature that gets distributed and makes money. Then the 6 majors will line up for $20 million. You know how you get $2 million? There are about 30 companies in North America that write $2 million checks. You know how you get that from them? Go out and make an excellent $200,000 feature that gets out there and makes money. Now you're becoming a somebody. You know how you get the $200,000 if you don't have it, which is possible. Some of you people can come up with $200,000. If you don't have $200,000, then you go for the $100,000 or just under $100,000. You go for the made-for-home video industry, the foreign industry. What I want to get you away from is stop thinking making a short is going to demonstrate what you can do. Stop wasting time with shorts. You're going to work just as hard to make a short. You're going to buy film stock, lab, camera, sound, light, da-da-da-da-da-da. Why don't you just make a feature? Why don't you shoot for another 2 days and make a feature? Now you got something marketable. Make a short. You won about 30,000 shorts this year, all that are going to get film festival awards, and all that mean nothing. So making a feature. How does Hollywood work financing? You know how you get 20 million, make a $2 million feature that makes money. You know how you get 2 million, make a $200,000 feature that makes money. You know how you get 200,000, make something just under $100,000 that gets out to the video, the cable, the foreign industry and makes some money. But that's it. That's how the industry works. Wherever you can plug in on that first check, plug in. It still depends on getting the great script, mechanically getting it done with energy and talent and passion, yes, I agree, and then getting it out there. That's making your film. That's coming in. Now let me teach you a little bit more on how to talk like a producer very quickly. Here's how to talk like a producer. You understand now the budgets, the marketing budgets, the actual cash budget. Next is, here's the magical phrase that every producer says that I have ever known a feature film. No feature film will ever get made without the person, producer or director, saying this phrase. Here's the magical phrase. You'll stumble into somebody and they'll say, hello, who are you? You say Dove or Judith or Charlie, whatever your name is. And they'll say, hi, what do you do? Now you say the magical phrase, I'm a producer. You know, doesn't take any graduation. You don't need a diploma. You don't have to get a state license to say that. And then they say, really? Here comes the phrase. Now they're going to call you on the carpet. Okay, well, what are you doing? Or what have you done? What are you doing or what have you done? Here comes the magic phrase I'm about to teach you. And when it comes out, you're going to laugh. It's not a joke. Don't laugh. You'll still laugh. Okay, here's the magic phrase. I'm walking down. I meet somebody. They go, hi. I go, hi. I go, what's your name? They go, John. And they go, what's your name? I go, Dove. They say, what do you do? And I say, I'm a producer. And they say, really? What are you doing? Here's the phrase. I have numerous projects in various stages of development. Right, I told you not to laugh. I have numerous projects in various stages of development. How many times have you heard that? Everybody says that. Let's get to this right away, real quick. Is there anybody in this room right now that does not have an idea for a movie? That does not have an idea for a movie? There's not a single hand up right now. So everybody in this room has an idea for a movie. So everybody has, stop saying their ideas, their projects. You're all in pre-production, the development stage, the conceptual stage, the scripting stage. What I'm getting you to is if you don't believe in yourself right now, nobody else is going to believe in you. And one of the first things it takes to be a producer is you're an entrepreneur and you're a leader. So you better stand up and say, hi, I'm a producer and I've got numerous projects in various stages of development right now. We're in pre-production, we're in the scripting and development stage. Do you want to work with me? Give me your card. That's it. That's how you talk. It's that magical line. I have numerous projects in various stages of development. You know what? Believe in yourselves. That's what it takes, just believing in yourselves. Okay, let's go on now. Let me put up here what I consider is the 7 major points it takes to be a rich and famous producer, and we'll be finished by the end of today. You'll understand all 7. Number 1 is the most important. Number 2, next most important, down to number 7, the least most important trait to be a rich and famous producer. Here's number 7, the least important, but it's important, but the least important, talent. Once again, this is my opinion, talent. I'm not going to waste 2 hours of time standing up here explaining to you, you got to have talent, you got to have passion, who doesn't believe in that? Of course you got to have talent. Watch this one. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't have talent? Raise your hand. Come on. Anybody here really has no talent? How much time do you want to waste on that? You know, everybody believes they have talent, and everybody does have talent. Do you have that massive, amazing amount of inordinate talent that keeps spewing forth every 30 seconds? Remember, when you start this career, you're going to start with very little money, and you can't throw money at it to fix problems. So you're going to have to throw talent at it to fix everything that keeps popping up. You all believe you have talent. I know you do. Do you have that amazing amount of talent that never ceases? With every problem that pops up, you got to fix it with talent and Band-Aids, because you don't have money to throw at it on your first 1 or 2 projects. So talent is important. Let's get to really what is the most important thing, par none, the screenplay, the script. Number 1 is the script, the screenplay, the script. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. I'll get to the script in about an hour and a half of what it is and why it's number one. This class is not about how to write the great screenplay or get the great screenplay, but I'll focus about 20 minutes on it in about an hour and a half so you know what it is that you can handle and how to get real and what to really pay. Number two, most important thing in being a producer is, I don't care what anybody says, it's money. This class will teach you how little money you actually need to do it, but it's still money. You got to have some money to make a film. You can't make a film without money. $5,000, you can make a feature film. 35 millimeter Dolby stereo. When we finish off today, I'll show you exactly how to do that. No games, no tricks about it. $5,000 by the end of today. In another 7 hours, you'll walk out knowing $5,000, making a 35 millimeter Dolby stereo feature film. Rodriguez El Mariachi, that was $7,500 for 16 millimeter with rotten sound. I'll show you better. It still comes to get the great script, get the great script. So let's go a quick boot camp on producers so you understand the different titles and different types of producers. In movies, there are two sets of titles. When you go to a movie, you see the opening set titles or the opening titles in the beginning of a movie, and in the end of a movie you see the rear title crawl, C-R-A-W-L. This is important, guys. Write this information down I'm about to put in. Opening titles and rear title crawl, because when you go to negotiate with your cast and crew, we all negotiate for what we call the C&Cs, credits and compensation. C&C, credit and compensation. Of course, we all want to know right away, when am I getting paid? But we all want to know also, what credit am I getting? Where am I getting? Where is it going to be on the screen? How long is it going to be on the screen? Am I in the newspaper ad? Am I on the video box? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.